Hi guys, and welcome to another Kamikaze creation video. In the last video we had a look at these doors and doing the guides that are similar to a Bailey's channel in other cars, and those windows are all in now and working, which is really good. One viewer, subscriber, did mention the whistle rubbers. Now down in either side, up on this face, is another rubber that when you wind the window all the way up, it presses on that rubber and pulls the window in towards the car to stop the whistle. Now they're the little parts I was mentioning that you've got to miss when you put that window in or pull the window out. They're on either end of the door and they're a rubber sitting on a bracket. They didn't come in this kit, but they are a very important part to check out when you're doing a door build and trying to get your windows to act correctly. But in today's video we're going to have a look at doing a little bit of weld repair on the floor in this old girl, and then completing the sound deadener. So I'll show you through the... Here's the hole in the floor I was telling you about in the last video. So I haven't done a lot of work with sound deadener in the front, but it won't take much to do it, and I've got it all sitting here in the shed. But that's the hole I've got to fix up. So these originally had a pivot point for the accelerator, which was hinged to the floor that I can see, and this is welded out in that location. It did have a bit of metal plate tech screwed in there, but I'm going to cut that section out, make a new bit of steel and weld it up, and I think I'll just change the accelerator type so I don't have that hinge point on the floor. That's the aim at this stage, to change that way I don't have to cut the carpet and it's a nice clean look in the floor. It's a little bit dark down in the footwell, but I've just sort of marked out a bit of a shape that I'm going to cut out. It's all pretty much flat metal there, even though it curves up towards the firewall. And then I'll mark out another bit of plate and fit it back in and tack it in. So here's the piece I've cut out. It's all fairly rusted out there. And if we come over inside the car, there's a nice little shape for me to replicate and weld a new bit in. So it's pretty much a flat bit of plate, and it has a little curve up towards the firewall. Shouldn't be hard to replicate. I'll get into that now. I had a bit of I've got a few old guards out the back, so I just went and cut a bit out, used that piece as a template, cut a bit out, and I've just sort of shaped it on the just on the anvil with a ball peen hammer, really. So sit this piece on it here. Basically the same shape and similar curve. So now I'll just go and cut it to size and start fitting it in, and I can tack it in place. So this is where it started. It's an old UC guard. I got about 4 of them, had a big dent in it, and so I cut that shape out, had a heap of bog in it, and on the other side a heap of sound deadener, just ground that off with a flapper wheel, and I've cut it to shape and it's ready to tack in. Not perfect, but not bad for crouched up in the dash in the car. It's really flush, like all the surfaces are really flush, and I've just got a little tack holding it and do a few little adjustments, and then I might make a few adjustments on my welder, see if I can get it a bit better, and just go along and fill it in. Basically I've got them, I'll go and put a few tacks along next to them. Now I've got a bit of metal in it, and it should just seal it up, and then I can give it a bit of a polish up, and that job will be done. Pretty happy with the result. Never done it before, so that's awesome. So as you're getting closer, I'll do a little bit of tidy work up from underneath, and it's all going to be covered up with sound deadener anyway. So looking good, pretty happy. onwards and upwards from here. It's good to finally be progressing on the sound deadener. As you can see, I've done that whole footwell. I did give the bit of metal I put in there a prime and let it dry overnight. And now I've just gone straight over the top of the sound deadener. And I will have to do a little bit of work underneath the car, cleaning up that weld area. And then I'll use some tar paint on the underside to seal it from the underside. But that's pretty good. That's the front footwell. I had done all this previously. I've got a little bit to do over there on the wheel arch area. And I've got to now run over into the passenger side footwell, which is fine. You can see over there's a little bit of deadener I've got to take out. And then I'll seal it all up with this new sound deadener. It's all done, finally. So the floor where I did that weld repair, all covered in, and yes, I still got to do a little bit down the bottom. I've done the passenger side now, right up into the firewall. I'll go over the other side and show you that. And finished off both the wheel wells. This one over here on this side needs a little bit of work done on it. But if you have a look, when we come down, I've sort of gone right up to where the insulation for the dash begins. And that's sort of where I've ended, and I've done the best I could up over the wheel arch. And you can see on the other side again, I've moved right up there. I haven't done anything on the faces of the car, like up in the inner guard area there. I've just done the floor at this stage, and that may be all I do as well. It does have some underfelt to go in there, but so good so far, and pretty happy with the end result. And again, we're moving towards this weekend and getting that interior in the car, and the carpet was the first thing. Next thing I'm going to have a look at in the next video is probably having a look at these back windows, pulling the mechanism out, having a look at it, see what needs repaired. I know this window over here doesn't wind up perfectly. You can force it up and it's sitting there nicely now, but I'd like it to work well with the window mechanism. Anyway, happy with that. If you like this little RA23 Celica, hit that like, hit subscribe, keep up to date with what's happening on it, because being winter here, my business slows right down and I'll be doing a fair bit of work. This is my project and working towards this weekend, which should be pretty exciting.